Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again. And on today's episode, I have a funny story for you here today of a man whose wife left him, but now she wants to come back. She wants him back because he's with somebody new now, right? So what happened was she left his ass thinking that she could do better, that she was just going to upgrade him and get a different man. And so the relationship ended, but he found somebody new. And of course, now she wants to come back. I'm telling you guys, there are so many women who pull this crap, okay? They might leave you, they might cheat on you, whatever. But whenever you have a new girlfriend, maybe you get a new wife and she's more attractive or she's younger or something, be expecting those hey stranger texts and the reaching out to start up when she sees you with somebody else. It's basically like FOMO, you know, the fear of missing out. They see that somebody else wants you, so they want you to. It's really, really stupid. It's called mate poaching, I believe, or otherwise known as pre-selection, something very common that women do, and it's incredibly silly. So let's jump into the story here. This is the story of a 35-year-old man whose wife of nearly a decade walked away during one of the lowest periods of his life. Classic how this always happens too, by the way. Okay, you're a man, you're going through something difficult, maybe you've lost your job, maybe, you know, a family member is no longer with you, stuff like this. You're having a rough period that's only natural, okay? And then your wife leaves your ass. How many times do we see this happen? How many times have you, the audience, right, watching at home, how many times have you probably experienced this? Okay, things aren't going your way in life, and then the woman just dips on you. Happens all of the time. Anyway, nearly a year later, she came back saying that she made a mistake and wanted another chance. But now he's found peace in somebody new. What she hoped would be a reconciliation became a painful reminder of how quickly the roles in the relationship can shift. Okay. So he says, she left me when I was down. Now that I'm up, she wants to come back. I'm a 35-year-old man. My ex-wife is 34. We were married for 9 years. And we were together for almost 12. Okay, that's a long one. He says, we met in college, we fell into each other hard and grew up side by side. Somewhere along the way, though, we stopped growing together and we started drifting apart. The past year has been the most transformative and painful of my life. We divorced 11 months ago. We had no children, which in hindsight is probably a mercy, he says. We talked about it on and off for years, but kept delaying, waiting for life to quote unquote settle down, and instead it fell apart. I mean, here's the thing, right? If your wife is like 34 years of age or whatever she was, 32, and she does not want to have kids or she's waiting for the perfect time, the translation to me is that she doesn't want to have kids with you, straight up, right? Because you're running out of time here. This woman is 33, 34. She's talking about waiting for a better time. These people, you know, she probably understands that there is no time left, and she just wants you to think that, hey, maybe she's open to the idea of having kids, even though she doesn't seem to be whatsoever. Because if she was interested, this would be something that she would have sorted out earlier, and just it would have been something that they made happen. He said, I was laid off during a brutal round of job cuts. I was already struggling with burnout, depression, and money stress, and that job loss just lit a match under everything. I didn't want to admit how badly I was doing. I thought I could tough it out. Instead, I became withdrawn, short-tempered, and numb, and she pulled away. At first, it was subtle. She stayed late at work. She didn't check in much. Then she started sleeping at a friend's place when she needed quote-unquote space. Yeah, so she started seeing another dude immediately, you know? And like, so this dude says that I became withdrawn, short-tempered, and numb. What's the bet that he didn't turn into this evil monster? She just probably told him that he was being, you know, short-tempered and all of these things. But it's like, this guy's going through something difficult. Woman pulls away, ends up at another dude's house. Incredibly normal behavior, unfortunately. Again, happens all of the damn time. So she says, eventually, I can't do this anymore. I need to figure out who I am outside of us. She said that she loved me, but she wasn't in love with me anymore. That line hit harder than I expected. Yeah, this is a stupid line. This whenever somebody says this to you, just know that they're not that interested in you. That's all that it means. Like, she says that she loves me. This is nonsense. It's complete nonsense, because if she loved you, she would have stuck it out and you guys would have been fine. Obviously, she didn't. You ran out of resources. That's why she left, right? Her love is contingent on the fact that you continue to provide resources. Now, not to get into the semantics of it here, guys, but personally, I wouldn't call that love, to be honest with you. Anyway, she packed her things in one weekend. I watched her move out while holding a half-washed dish in the sink. She didn't cry. I didn't either until the door shut behind her. It felt like I'd lost part of myself, not just her, but the version of me I believed I was enough. I was humiliated, but I didn't beg, and I just went quiet. I deactivated my socials. I stopped responding to most people, and I hit a personal rock bottom. A close friend got me into the gym. At first, I hated it, just noise and mirrors, but after a while, it became a rhythm and something I could control. I updated my resume, landed a remote job in tech, that's pretty cool, and started saving it. He says, I was still healing, but I was no longer just surviving. So this guy takes the necessary steps, right? He hits the gym, he gets a job, he updates his resume, started saving his money, and so on. Okay, some good steps are being made here. And so he says he meets a 26-year-old photographer. They met through a mutual friend at a party, and she made him laugh harder than he had in years. It didn't feel forced, and she didn't expect me to be anything other than what I was at the time. She knew about the divorce. I told her everything, and she didn't flinch. She just listened. She made space for me, and I didn't realize how badly I needed that. Right, so he meets. Let's cut to the chase here. This guy gets his wife leaves him when he's going through a rough patch, and now he comes across a 26-year-old woman who seems to be interested in him, and vice versa, I'm going to assume. And this is the thing, right? If you're a dude and you have an ex-wife who, what was she, 33, 34? Yeah, 34. Now all of a sudden this guy probably goes to dating this woman here who's 26, and I guarantee you this would piss the ex-wife off so much, right? Because the woman leaves thinking that, number one, he's not going to make money, right? He's not going to be successful. She thinks that he's a loser. That's number one. And number two, she probably thinks that no other women are going to be interested either, right? So if she wants to come back, she can at any given point. If she goes out there and screws it up with the next guy that she was cheating with, obviously, then she can just come back and everything's going to be fine. But if a 26-year-old female is now in the picture, now all of a sudden the jealousy comes out, the FOMO comes out, and she will want the man back. Out of nowhere, 2 weeks ago, he gets a message, hey, been thinking about you, can we talk? I stared at the message for half an hour. I felt nothing at first. I was just confused. I showed it to my girlfriend and she just nodded and said, you don't owe me anything, but if it'll give you closure, talk to her. That's when I knew that I had chosen the right person. We met for coffee. I don't know why dudes do this. I really don't. They go out there and they meet the woman who just walked away from them and ditched them for coffee. Why on earth would you do this, guys? Like, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love coffee. Okay? But if this were me, I wouldn't like the person. So why would I go? If I'm going to get coffee, I'll just go get coffee by myself. It boggles my mind that men will still interact with people who treat them so terribly. You know, if you get treated by somebody terribly, if you're a man, you're a woman, I don't particularly care. If somebody treats you terribly, why are we meeting them for coffee? Makes no sense to me, man. He says she looked good, same perfume, same posture, but something in her eyes was tired, not regretful. She was just worn down. Yeah, that's from all the chads she's been hooking up with and failing to get a relationship out of. It wears on the soul, you know? She told me she'd made a huge mistake, that leaving me wasn't the fresh start she thought it would be. She had tried dating. I love it when women say stuff like this. They tried dating. You know what that means, right? She goes out there, she hooks up with a bunch of dudes. None of the men that she hooks up with want her, and that's her trying dating. She tried therapy, tried quote-unquote finding herself. I bet she did. But everything led her back to the same place, feeling like she walked away from something real. Oh, boo-hoo. She said, seeing me now, how much I've changed, made her realize what she gave up. Said she missed the version of me who showed up for her, who held her when life was loud, who planned trips, wrote her little notes, cooked. I'm not reading this cringe. Okay, so he was there for her. She wasn't there for him. And she says, do you think we could try again? He said, honestly, I did love you. You were my world for a long time. But when you left, I had to rebuild without you. So essentially, he just says no. She just nodded. She was crying. And he wished her well. They didn't hug. And she walked out first this time. So great stuff. The dude essentially just tells her to screw off, that he's not interested in having anything ever again. And what else is funny about this situation, guys, is I guarantee you, okay, this woman who is now begging to come back in his life, you know, can we try again pulling this nonsense? I guarantee you she knows about the 26-year-old that he's dating. Okay, she knows about the other woman, and she wants him back because she sees, right? She sees the resources going to this guy. He's working a remote tech job, which good for him. He's working a remote tech job. A 26-year-old woman is interested in him, and they're dating. So of course she tries the snake tactic of trying to come back into his life. Guys, I'm telling you, this is something that women do so incredibly often, right? I've seen women, right? They'll go out there, they'll date a dude, and the moment they date a dude, there'll be other women who try and poach her boyfriend. You know, so she'll go out there, she'll get a boyfriend, she'll think that he's great, whatever. And then other women will all of a sudden start trying to take her boyfriend because they see that he's getting attention from women. You know, maybe an ex-girlfriend tries to sneak back and things like this. I've literally had women tell me this, guys. You know, it's not even just from a male perspective of, you know, maybe you've experienced this yourself. Women experience this because they do it to each other. It's absolutely hilarious, and not in a good way. Like it's funny, but at the same time, it's incredibly sad. And for those wondering, I mean, most of us watching are men, obviously. Obviously, we don't work the same way. If anything, it's quite the opposite. If you go to like a woman's, I don't know, Instagram or Facebook or whatever social media, okay, and you see that there are hundreds or thousands of dudes in her following, or, you know, she's got hundreds of dude friends, it's actually repulsive. like why would you want to date a woman who just has 5,000 orbiters around her and she knows they're there? It's repulsive, man. Women, on the other hand, quite the opposite, it seems. Anyway, he says, when I got home, my girlfriend didn't ask a single question, just looked up from her laptop and said, "Are you okay?" He said, "I told her everything. She just smiled and said, 'Good, now you know.'" Fantastic stuff. So he went out there. The woman asked for him back. She got denied, which is fantastic, as he should, by the way. This is my recommendation that to men is, like, when people try to come crawling back into your life, especially if they've disrespected you or treated you like trash, you are under zero obligation to take them back into your life. And then not only that, on top of that, you probably shouldn't welcome them back anyway. You know, like, you're under no obligation to do so. And moreover, it's a stupid idea to do it in the first place, to be honest, because they're just going to treat you terribly again. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, especially drop a comment if you have been in a similar situation. Maybe you're like a married dude and this has happened to you. I'd be interested to hear. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.